God said to Moses, "Let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them." When that was done, his presence filled the sanctuary and was revealed in the cloud over the tabernacle. Later, he came in the flesh as Jesus to live with us. And when Jesus returned to heaven, he sent the Holy Spirit to stay with us until the day he comes again to dwell forever with the redeemed in the New Jerusalem. Then we see him face to face. Maranatha Study TV presents the Sabbath School Lesson Summary for Lesson 13, titled The Tabernacle, with Pastor N.C. Bright. The memory text is in Exodus chapter 40, verses 34 through 38. It reads, "Then the cloud covered the tabernacle of meeting, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. For the cloud of the Lord was above the tabernacle by day, and fire was over it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel, throughout all their journeys." Sunday, the Sabbath of the Lord. People have argued against the Sabbath. Some say it was given only to the Jews, while others claim it started at Sinai. However, the Bible shows that the Sabbath was never meant for one nation alone. At creation, long before Abraham, before Sinai, Genesis chapter 2 verses 1 through 3 says that God blessed and set apart the seventh day. Adam and Eve, the parents of all nations, received it as a gift for all humanity. Jesus confirmed this in Mark chapter 2 verse 27 when he said, "The Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath." The Greek word anthropos, used for man, refers to humankind. Sinai did not create the Sabbath. It only reminded Israel of what God had already given since creation. God's law, including the Sabbath, has always been eternal. The Sabbath teaches us 5 timeless truths. God gave the Sabbath in Eden as a memorial of creation. This reminds us of the true reason we worship him, because he is our creator. As long as God remains our creator, the Sabbath remains a call to worship him. The Sabbath points to our hope in the promised Messiah. It reminds us that salvation comes only from the Lord, who frees us from sin and calls us to honor God as the ultimate judge, whose faithful people will enter eternal rest. Monday, offerings and the Spirit. When the Israelites left Egypt, they carried treasures the Egyptians pressed into their hands. Later, when God called them to build the tabernacle, 2 things were needed: materials and labor. At that point, the Israelites understood it was time to give back to the Lord what he had first given them. Some gave materials such as gold, silver, bronze, fine linen, wood, spices, and precious stones. Others gave their time and skills, working as spinners, tailors, carpenters, carvers, and jewelers to shape those gifts into holy objects. This principle is true today. Our money, talent, time, and skills all come from God. Everyone has something to offer to the cause of the gospel. This reminds us that preaching is not the only way to serve God. Our everyday skills can become holy tools in his hand. Tuesday, the tabernacle built. God provided clear instructions for building the tabernacle. Every measurement, color, an item had a spiritual meaning that pointed to his plan of salvation. Each object in the sanctuary was like a visual sermon. Inside this sanctuary, God established 2 kinds of services that worked together to explain his plan of salvation: the daily service and the yearly service. The daily service happened throughout the year. When someone sinned, they brought an animal to the tabernacle, confessed their sins over it, and slain the animal. This pointed to the truth that sin brings death, but also showed how God forgives repentant sinners through the blood of Christ, our substitute. The yearly service, known as the Day of Atonement, took place once a year. On this special day, the high priest entered the most holy place to cleanse the sanctuary from all the sins during the year. Together, the daily and the yearly services revealed the full picture of salvation. God forgives sin through Jesus' sacrifice, and he will one day completely remove sin from the universe through his final work of judgment. Wednesday, God's presence in the tabernacle. After many months of careful work, following every instruction God had given, the tabernacle was completed. When everything was ready, Moses dedicated it to the Lord. He consecrated every part of the sanctuary and set it apart for holy use. He also anointed Aaron and his sons, dedicating them to serve as priests. From that moment, the sanctuary services officially began. Here, we see a wonderful lesson. Moses was the leader. He built the tabernacle and even anointed the priest. Yet he was not permitted to enter the most holy place. This role belonged to Aaron, the high priest. This teaches us that regardless of our position or calling, we must respect and honor the responsibilities God gives others. The completion of the tabernacle was more than just a tent for worship. It was a sign of God's desire to live among his people. Even more, it pointed forward to a greater hope, the time when God would dwell with his people forever in the New Jerusalem. The earthly tabernacle was only a small picture of what God wants to do in eternity. Thursday, Jesus tabernacled with humanity. Just as God once lived among Israel in the sanctuary, he later came in person through Jesus Christ, and that is the mystery of love. The eternal God humbled himself, became human, and chose to live with us, walk with us, and save us. That is why he is called Emmanuel, God with us. When Jesus returned to heaven, he did not leave his people alone. He promised in Matthew chapter 18 verse 20, "Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am there in the midst of them." Today, he is with us through the presence of the Holy Spirit, guiding, comforting, and strengthening us each day. However, God's plan does not end there. Revelation chapter 21 verses 1 through 3 gives us the final promise. One day the New Jerusalem will come down from heaven, and a voice will declare, "Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people." In that city, there will be no temple, because the entire place will be God's dwelling. From the tabernacle in the wilderness to Christ living in the flesh, to the Holy Spirit with us today, and finally to the New Jerusalem. Whatever trial we face now, we can hold on, because soon we will see our God face to face and live with him forever in a world with no sin, no pain, and no death. Friday further thought. Satan has misrepresented the character of God. He has clothed him with his own attributes. He has represented him as a being of inflexible sternness. He had shut the world away from beholding the true character of God by casting his shadow between men and the Divine One. Christ came to our world to remove that shadow. He came to represent the Father. He said, "He that has seen me has seen the Father." Signs of the Times, April 15, 1889, paragraph 6. If you want this gospel message to reach more people, please hit the subscribe button. Like, share this video. Doing so will help YouTube recommend it to more viewers. The comment section is open for your reactions. Thank you for studying this lesson with us. Goodbye, and remain blessed until we meet again next week.